Hello and welcome to FinextraTV. I'm Madhvi Sonia and we're here at EBADay in Copenhagen. Joining me today is Sovon Chatterjee from HSBC. Hi Sovon, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Nice to meet you too. Thank you for joining us. So today we're going to talk about tokenized deposits. And considering corporate treasury, what are some of the best tokenized deposits use cases?
I think traditionally we see the traditional payment rails have some certain constraints associated with processing hours, also with cutoffs and batch processing, which does not enable it to be a truly 24/7 experience for the corporate treasurers. And if you look at tokenization is perhaps the first major step towards this real-time experience for our corporate treasurers, allowing round-the-clock experience for them, for the movement of funds. And what we're looking at tokenized deposits is it offers atomic settlement, it offers programmability, and also the 24/7 experience all put together, which makes it as a universal offering which can be spread across the board. And therefore, there are various use cases appearing. But in terms of the corporate treasury, if you are a company that is actually moving high value, high volume funds across jurisdictions, for example, global e-commerce company, then it is a huge benefit and you wouldn't want to be constrained by batch processing, cutoff times or payment cutoffs, and therefore this becomes a major use case. Also on tokenized deposits, what we've seen is it almost eliminates the need for pre-funding floats, which can be a huge cost. And therefore, if you look at tokenized deposits combined with programmability, it has many use cases and applications. And we see this as a foundational block that can be used across segments and sectors. And certain segments, it will be more beneficial than others. But eventually, I think this is going to be spread across segments.
Thank you. And what are the hurdles that you're coming up against when it comes to wider adoption of tokenized deposits?
I think the key point here is how would different forms of money be interoperable across jurisdictions, across different forms itself. For example, movement of money from central bank digital currencies to, say, tokenized deposits, which is commercial bank money, to stable coins, which is private money. So this interoperability is very important. Clarity on regulations as well as uniformity is another very important aspect on tokenized deposit interoperability. When we look at jurisdictions, there are different rules that apply across the board, and we need some sort of uniformity in relation to that. And interoperability, we have seen many projects come up across the world, which are quite often led by the central banks, and we feel central banks do have a huge role to play in this interoperability. A prime example of that is the Hong Kong Monetary Authority's Ensemble project, which offers 24/7 interoperability, and also is something that contributes to the Ensemble TX platform offering 24/7 experience. Now, when we talk about technological interoperability, I think one of the key factors is standardization and harmonization of protocols, and we are seeing consensus being built across the industry in that regard, which is quite encouraging to see. And furthermore, what we have also seen is the industry coming together to avoid technology fragmentation. Besides that, I think there is also a need for customer education, whether you're a bank, a corporate, or a consumer, or a participant across the ecosystem. The important thing is that you understand the market well, you understand what your position is in that market, the risks and the challenges associated with it, along with the opportunities that it brings to you, and then decide what that role might be. So I think overall, these kind of challenges is something that the industry will need to overcome, but interoperability, according to me, is going to be the key.
And after overcoming these challenges, in maintaining a competitive edge, do you think it will be more of a sprint or more of a gradual development?
The digital infrastructure required for tokenization does not have a very significant barrier to entry. And what that means is it's quite likely that the emerging markets might leapfrog into this space, which essentially means that like in the past where they have adopted technology quicker, and we've seen that in the example of digital wallets, for example, and they have leapfrogged into that space. The key question, therefore, is how do we bridge the tokenization across the developing and the developed markets and bridge that gap that might exist. And each of these markets poses its own challenges and opportunities. And from a perspective of tokenization, I think the important aspect again goes back to interoperability as well as collaboration in the industry. We've seen different use cases emerge. As I said, programmability will bring in many more use cases along with it. Adoption ultimately depends on the use cases, and with more use cases coming through, the industry will need to collaborate, because quite often these are in the interbank cross-border space, is where the cross-border transactions are to be met with the collaboration across banks. So in that regard, I do feel that whilst it might seem like a sprint at this stage where each participant is trying to put themselves forward, but ultimately it is going to be an industry-led collaboration, because no one can do it alone.
Very true. It truly is a global opportunity. Thank you so much for joining us here in the studio.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.